Hello for another very, very, very short stream because it's stupid late, but we've got confidence and it has a tooltip. Explains what's going on. Confidence is a currency used to unlock faster versions of programs. It is earned by completing optional contracts and by gating science. Activating a program at a speed faster than slow will consume confidence. Total confidence earned to date is 0. Total science earned to date 322. As you can see, it no longer mentions applicants. That's because applicants from science are dead. There's the rep tooltip. It actually explains the new rep mechanics. And fund tooltip is just a quick look into your budget. So applicants from science are dead, but instead oh, I don't have an example of this because I probably I bet it's yeah. Let's look at this. Where were we? First artificial satellite. Gain 50 applicants. Applicants are now unlocked by particular milestone contracts. Hey, CMF. Yeah, it's super late. Yeah, I was really deep in the weeds of using Harmony to hack various display methods because this reward block is used there, and it's also used in the message system contract completion remarks. Let's find an optional. All these contracts no longer exist. Where's a genuinely optional contract? Well, I'll get one from here. That's interesting. That has a confidence boost. Oh, this hasn't been split yet. That's why. Because this is now in the this is another thing that is some are required and some are optional. So this one is entirely optional. How did it not get? How did that happen? Crude orbit. Objectives, confidence costs. Oh, it doesn't have. Oh, right. It has confidence cost, but it doesn't. Yeah. Aluda was doing the optionals. And Pep put in the confidence costs. So yeah, crude orbit hasn't been dealt with yet, so you can't get confidence from any of these contracts. Active, this technically should give me confidence, but is not, because it hasn't been split yet. Yeah, I'd kind of like to have it on the same line. So if we can come up with a, so I just came up with this like handshake glyph for it. If we can chuck it in here, somehow. I don't know if there's a way to. Simon, have you looked at if there's a way to add TextMesh Pro sprite assets? Because these are rendered as just sprite asset calls. Really hope it's not a Unity thing. Also, I'm not going to take this on, but it's actually somewhat tempting to make a replacement. Oh, but you can't inherit. Ugh. Yeah, I want a replacement for currency modifier query, but you can't change the data. And like, I guess I could do some really heavy-handed harmony hammering where it has like a ride-along class that solely to keep extra data. Yeah, none of that stuff is virtual, so I guess I would use Harmony to make it to effectively make all those methods virtual by calling my replacement methods. And then also have to replace all the things that create currency modifier queries to instead return the new object. And then we could actually have confidence in a currency modifier query, which I think long-term we'll want. Because, yeah, it's just parsing of sprite. But I think so yes, I mean many of the leader bonuses we have to write custom code for, but some of them we can just write traditional strategies for, where they have their, like your deadlines are slightly shorter, but you get more confidence from flying missions. I don't know. Yeah, I mean most of the put in one coin, get a different coin out strategies are pretty boring. So when Max and I were talking, we were trying to steer clear of all of that. But there may be some cases we'll want to do that. But it would be so it's definitely the case of, like, we could do something like all your engines are slightly more reliable, but everything costs a little more. And that means that we would need currency modifier queries working, which also means that we need to go through all the places where we just blindly add to or subtract from funds and instead properly use currency modifier queries. So that is some technical debt that we will have to pay off at some point. So what do I have going on? Oh, I guess I have. Yeah, how far away are we anyway? Oh, there's nothing building here. I probably should build something here. This one has a 200-kilometer perigee, which is going to be a little hard for my baby Thor able to reach. But I'm not really sure what else to build. How far away are we from? Okay. February 1960. So that's 1 year and 8 months from now. Let's look at the... Okay, so over the course of this year, we'll gain an awful lot of money. I think it's probably time to just decommission the X-15. And start people training for Mercury. Oh, they're in mission training. Takes 265 days because the base is 325. That seems fine. So 265 days plus 75 days is a year. So they'll, yeah, we're still going to end up like, they'll come out of training almost a year early. So I guess maybe I can still launch a few more X-15 flights. It'll extend their training, their retirement time a little bit. Decisions. Happy racing, squirrel. What I know I want to do is hire more researchers. And I guess I need to start upgrading R&D again. Okay. And I guess I might as well add a bunch more folks. Oh, this isn't even a human-rated launch complex, so I also have to start building a human-rated launch complex. So yeah, I really have to sink a lot of that money just into staffing up. There goes my global efficiency. Okay, so start air launch preparations. And oh, that reminds me. I have to. The other thing that I needed to fix was bin patcher. Oh no, it's actually in admin extender. One thing I really dislike about Harmony is how screwed up the code base gets. And I guess if we really had one file per class, then it's just shadowing existing stuff. But then we have our own classes, and which are also holding data and interacting and doing all this stuff, and it's just a mess. Oh, yeah. That's a typo. I was wondering why the alignment is so screwy, and that's why. Because I'm aligning these buttons middle center instead of middle right. I was testing middle right with Object Inspector, but then I didn't. Somehow I wrote middle center when I auto-completed some stuff. Also have to figure out why those start green, but then once you switch tabs, they then show as unselectable anyway. Kind of need three states. Could be selected if you had the slots. Could be selected. It can actually be selected. Could be selected if you have the slots, and could be selected. It can't be selected because you don't meet the requirements. Also, we could really use icons for the programs. Yeah, this is supposed to be aligned over here, and yeah, I need to put spaces between those buttons. So, there are a few things in life that I hate more than UI work. It's just that I happen to remember enough of what Jim went through and how the actual KSP UI works that it's not too horrible. but I strongly welcome the day that we can run a real UI framework and just freshly create UI instead of like grabbing stuff and banging it together from existing prefabs. Huh. Wonder why fast isn't centered in that button. The others are centered. That's weird. Right, I was looking at, so COM network and targeted satellites. So I believe okay. Believe that. Oh, speaking of UI work, at one point you had said you were going to add a button for switching between mission control and the admin building. So I think we probably also should do that, just to avoid some of the transition slowness and or killing that the automatic save every time you enter a facility, or like the automatic save every time you do anything. Like there are so many times that auto saves. Like buy a thing, auto save. Accept the contract, auto save. I think if we just switch to basically time-based autosaves, it would work a lot better. Although, then you still have the Principia problem of you're adjusting a maneuver in Principia and you get a flight autosave. Which does remind me whether maybe there's a way that sending off a save to be autosaved, if we could thread that so it, or at the very least do it asynchronously, so it doesn't just lock your entire UI during save. The core KSP stuff has to be synchronous, but I bet you that we could ask Principia to serialize that data, and then wait, is Principia can't already be asynchronous, because like the whole point is that when there's a save, when you have Principia, when you have too many craft around, the save takes forever. Yeah, so CMAP, basically this is just a Principia thing. So Principia is definitely threaded, but save is not, because it's a synchronous call from the C# into the through the plugin adapter to the native code. So I think basically the way this would work is the C# would do everything but Principia, and then basically the KSP plugin adapter in Principia would return something dummy to KSP, and then asynchronously would actually edit the save once it's on disk and substitute in the correct data from the canonical time. And that would get rid of almost all the freeze. Yeah, what was I looking at here? I was looking at the requirements of these things, which, yeah. So some of these I can do with variable, but I can't do them anyway until I unlock mission control. So yeah, I'm just going to destaff that launch complex because we need the engineers. and we're only at 68% efficiency, so we're not going to take that big a hit. CMAV, that is definitely possible, and we could certainly optimize that. But just empirically, I know from playing campaigns that went well past moon boots without Principia, like even with tons of vessel debris and all the stuff, with the exact same mod suite, saves were super fast. Whereas Principia, it's literally like a 3-second hitch. All right, let's look at our burn rate now. Yeah, so we're still positive, but not positive as much. However, stuff will complete faster. 67 days for mission control, and then the admin building is going to be another 400 days after that. Problem with doing it that way, though, is that we actually need to start on a human rated pad. Which let's examine the damage. So first I want to know what there's Mercury Atlas. Okay, its total height was just shy of 30 meters. I don't remember what... Oh, you know what? I don't need to remember. I can just open the craft, and that will tell me. Squirrel, I'm not sure what you're asking. Okay, what does it think the dimensions are? 36.5 meters. Oh, I assume that's because this has lead in it. Yes, that's why. That is not an easily calculable problem. Because thermodynamics is basically integration. Analytic isn't, but analytic is weird. Alright, so let's look at this level of insanity. Human rated. Okay, so it'll take as long to build as R&D. Except that says only 181 days. That's interesting. So why is... Oh, no, mission control, which was twice that, takes twice that long. Okay, so we've got time yet. We don't have to start building this launch complex now. We're still... we have about 250 days or so before we have to start building that launch complex. And that's just with our current construction workers. That's... Oh, no. Yeah. 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 Yep. Okay. Okay, so that's less scary than I thought. But with no flights and mostly just talking, some actual case being, I'm going to call it quits because it's stupid late. Thanks everyone for watching. I will catch you next time. Night.